Hi there, this is Brett Cutler, creator of Super Runaway. Super Runaway is a chase platformer with the power to move through walls. It was created using DigiPen's Project Fun SDK, and it took about a month to make. The first thing to note is that the how to play screen is too busy and detailed. I kept it on one page, but it would be better to spread it out into a bunch of little factoids. Okay, so we start off, the player can jump, he's run, he's trapped in a box. So you have to push down, you phase through the wall. You push down again, and you'll see that it won't take you back to the real world while you're still in the walls. There's, safety. I don't want the player to get locked in the wall. So you have to use it to move forward. You see the enemies, they are these whales. So the whale enemies are there to chase the player. Originally, I wanted them to follow the player, have pathfinding on them, but I wasn't able to do that, so they just, once the player moves past them in the X dimension, they start chasing them. Unfortunately, the whales start very fast. This was because I didn't really have a real acceleration curve. Now I would do it as a more gradual thing, a bit of rubber banding so that they don't overwhelm the player immediately. However, people figure it out pretty quickly, and it gives the effect that I want, where I can tune the encounter to be just enough so that the whale is gradually catching up, stops right before they would get the player. So implementing the barriers as a way to stop the whales was a design solution to not being able to have them pathfind through the whole level. And like I said, it has this benefit of letting me build gated encounters. It also lets the player catch a breather in between, so it had secondary benefits as well. So with the main mechanic phasing, it turns off collision with the level, so the player can move through walls. And people use this to find shortcuts through the level, and the real point of it is to keep your momentum going throughout the level no matter what's happening. In playing games like Sonic or other fast platformers, you come to situations where you're running and running, and then you have to slow down to bank it past an obstacle or jump up some walls. So what I really wanted to do was keep the momentum of the player up, and this really succeeds in doing that. Originally, there was a question of whether I was going to do this as a puzzle game where the focus was on exploration, or as an action game where the player is using this mechanic to move as fast as possible. With a puzzle game, the problems would be developing levels where the player can't get themselves into bad situations. Doing it as an action game lets me just kill the player if they go too far, and then it's not a big deal because you just restart a couple seconds behind. Now, I say killing the player is not a big deal. I should note the game is pretty difficult. I kind of have the designer's fallacy with this of making it playable and fun for myself, but not necessarily for new people. I felt at the time that I was going for the indie standard of small bite-sized challenges and platformers that can be very difficult. Unfortunately, the levels are a bit too long to really fit into that, and you can't really see enough of what's in front of you. So the last level here is a reversal of the formula. The player is chasing their target rather than being chased. You also see the reversal with these jump pads where the player, instead of wanting to get them for bouncing over stuff, the player's actually avoiding them here. Usually the text works out pretty well, and the expression on the whale helps in giving the player what their goal is going to be. And when the player catches up to the whale, when they finally touch them, then the game is over. The player has gone through the journey being chased by the white whale and gone to chasing the white whale. The dream is over, and Jake wakes up. And so that is Super Runaway. Thanks for watching.